Welcome to Slightly Inaccurate History. I'm in a beanbag. And I've got a prop as well. Glasses for effect. I'm going to tell you a little story now about, we're going to learn some history, albeit slightly inaccurately. If you haven't seen any slightly inaccurate histories before, basically I have a little look on Wikipedia for 10 minutes and then I rehash the story. And I do try to be accurate, but it's going to be slightly inaccurate because of my memory. We're going to learn about Isambard Kingdom Brunel today. Now, Isambard Kingdom Brunel was, that's my little post-it notes, one of, if not the most revered engineer in the history of engineering. Absolute slayed at it. He was very, very clever man. This is distracting me. I'm just going to put that down and tell you, speak from the heart about Isambard Kingdom Brunel. So he was a really, really amazing engineer. When it all started was as a child. His father, called Mark Brunel, he was a brilliant engineer as well. And so it kind of followed through that Isambard was a really brainy child. So his dad, Mark, encouraged that, sent him to all the good schools. He went to, I think it was France. He went somewhere and did an apprenticeship in engineering. When he comes back, he finished his engineering apprenticeship. He started working with his dad. His dad had started this project on tunnels. And apparently tunnels weren't really a thing before then. So Isambard and his dad finished what was the first ever working tunnel under a full big river, the River Thames. Wasn't without incident though. So Isambard one day was working on his tunnel and it flooded, and this happened several times. Very sadly, 2 people died. And Isambard narrowly escaped. I would say he was fine, but it took him a bit of getting over. He took 6 months off sick to recover from his injuries from this flooding accident. In that time when he was recuperating, his brainy brain was still ticking over like nobody's business, and drawing out and doodling, come up with this design for a bridge. Isambard, especially Bristolians, will know what bridge this is. Isambard Kingdom Brunel's famous Clifton Suspension Bridge. So he's starting designs for that in I don't know, I want to say 1836. It was 18 something, long ago. Excuse me, I'm a bit wheezy, I've got hay fever. Sorry about that. So the bridge, yes. So he's working out this bridge. When he comes back from off sick, he's going to start putting this into reality of making this bridge. Now, this bridge, I think it's a little bit of a luxury item for the people of Bristol. It's not necessarily vitally important that they had this bridge. It was a want, not a need, because all the posh people in Clifton, which is still the posh bit of Bristol, used to come down to the little villagey bits and shops and things like that. And it was a really long way away. So the bridge would solve that problem. They could quickly pop over and back, get their supplies, and it opened up the city a bit better. So there was a committee formed from the posh people of Clifton to try and raise funds for it, but also to work out who was going to design it. Isambard puts his design through. The guy, his name was Thomas something, who was the head of the committee, was not keen on that Isambard's one. No, we're not going to have that. We're going to go with my one. So the head of the committee poo-poos Isambard's idea in favour of his own idea. And that was that. They I don't know how it came about, but Isambard was hang on, hear me out. This is a really good idea for a bridge. And he got it re-looked at, and they did accept and go with his idea. Very sadly, the bridge didn't open until after Isambard's death. But anyway, I'm fast forwarding a bit. going back to making the bridge. So he gets the like gig for making the bridge, and it's like, oh, brilliant. Takes blimmin' years. So whilst he's making the bridge, it's got like 2 famous pillars each side of this massive drop, this gorge, like over a river, Avon, I want to say. I don't know, I live there, I don't even know, I think it's the river Avon. Anyway, the bridge, massive like drop. And to get from Tower A to Tower B, he strung up like this like wire thing, like a steel wire or whatever it was. And he would like pull himself across with a pulley on a basket. And one day, this is a true story of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, of his like bravery and like cleverness. He's pulling along and his basket gets stuck. So he had no option. He had to climb right up to the top of the basket and basically hanging from the wire whilst he freed it and then like went about his way. Imagine that. So that was a death-defying stunt that Isambard did. The other thing they did, because it took so long to do the bridge, they used to like charge people like a shilling or whatever it was in old money to go from pillar A to pillar B in this little basket. And the people, it was like a fun, like a pleasure thing, you know, people would do it for fun, go for a little ride in the basket. So it did that for, I think, a few years. The other thing that's brilliant about Isambard Kingdom Brunel, during the Crimean War, Florence Nightingale, she was having a bit of a hard time. I have done a story on Florence, actually, if you want to know a bit more about that. And I think I touch on this in that one. She was like, oh my God, these hospitals here are like an absolute joke. Everyone's dying. I've got no supplies. It's an absolute piss take. So she contacts the British government. She's like, look, I can't help people. All right, I'm a brilliant nurse and everything, but how can I help people in like a dirty old tent? I need some proper help. So they're like, all right, I know you're just the man for you, Florence. So they link them up with Florence and Isambard Kingdom Brunel. And Isambard designs this like really innovative, I want to say if that's the right word, way of building a hospital. So he designed the hospital in the UK and then sent it, probably with like an Allen key or something, all the way to Crimea, and they like put it together like you do with IKEA flat pack, like a whole hospital. And it came complete with like all the like drainage that the hospitals need and like proper like things put in place for them to do their hygiene properly and stuff. And it saved loads of lives. So thanks to Isambard, a lot of hospitals even today in the UK are like made like that, including the Bristol Royal Infirmary was made like prefabricated, not flat pack, you know, that sort of thing. One other quick thing about Isambard Kingdom Brunel that I found on my Wikipedia, I don't know how accurate this is, he nearly choked to death. He was doing a magic trick to like impress his children and make them laugh, and he accidentally swallowed a coin. And they tried everything to get this coin out, and he couldn't get it out. So they strapped him on this like board thing, turned him upside down and jiggled him, and the coin came out. And apparently that like made him quite poorly, and he was off sick again for another 6 months. But he come back, made a brilliant ship. I'm running out of time. Did like loads on the railways and stuff like that. Yeah, so he's like the top of the top engineer guy. I think that's pretty much it. Let me just check. I did make a bit. I'm trying to improve with these and getting my facts a bit better, but I've lost my. Where's that pink post-it gone? I'm sure I saw it in there. Oh, I don't know. It's inaccurate anyway, isn't it? So that's part of the charm. Look at this lovely old book I've got for no reason. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll think of someone else to do a slightly inaccurate history of soon. Okay, thanks.